So hey guys, welcome to what I haven't done in a really long time, which is a game review, to a video game review of the Nintendo 3DS version of Lego Marvel Superheroes with the subtitle Universe in Peril. So I guess the 3DS version of this game in full would be Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril, which is the game I'm going to review for you today. And this is what the um, cover design of the 3DS box looks like for the game right here. So here's the back side quick for those who were wondering what that would look like. So I know some stores like Walmart like to have it in a glass display. So in those stores you really can't look at the back. So I just did it for that. Those people who like to look at the back cover for those. So um, in Lego Marvel Superhero, you guys, or Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril, I should say. In this game, you basically can choose from a huge variety of a majority of the Marvel superheroes from the Marvel universe. I wouldn't say every Marvel hero, but a good majority of them are in this game as playable characters, and mostly the heroes for the most part. There's a few characters like Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane Watson from the Spider-Man stories that are playable in the game. You know, they aren't really superheroes, but you can unlock them at one point. And there's a few other characters along that line that you can unlock too. I think Frank Castle from The Punisher is probably the like most abstract, most like far out there Marvel superhero they probably have on there, and they have like Deadpool and things of that nature. So basically, the main premise of the game is there's several missions you can go on. All of them are basically through these very recognizable places in the Marvel universe, like Oscorp from the Spider-Man stories, um, downtown New York from the Avengers. Um, there's a few other ones. They have like the Stark Tower, I think, is one of them, and all these places in this game that you can basically go to that you've seen in the Marvel universe, and they're done in Lego form. A vast majority of these environments are basically all made with Legos, or like I said, a good majority of these environments are made out of Legos. And so what's kind of cool about the game too is there's a tag team feature. It's like, let's say you're playing as Iron Man in one level and you have Hulk as kind of the tag team person. Not only can you do a double, like a tag team attack with those two characters, but you can also switch off. So let's say you're getting sick of playing as Iron Man, you can then play as the Hulk since he's kind of your backup character. If your character dies, unfortunately, your backup character, won't come in their place. So that's kind of the downside of the game. Once your 4 hits are taken, you basically have to do the whole level all over again. Though there are some characters like Wolverine who can regenerate their health over time if they're not being hit. So there are some characters in this game that do allow you to do that. So basically, the main plot or premise of the games, it's a game, and they're not going to have as much plot as a movie, obviously, specifically with a Lego game like this. Basically, these Marvel villains are trying to take out these heroes once and for all. They all team up together, and you play as these Marvel characters, and it's kind of fair because like let's say you're in Oscorp, more than likely you're going to play Spider-Man. If you're in downtown New York, more than likely you're going to be one of the Avengers like the Hulk or Iron Man or things of that nature. Or like another example too is if you're playing Hawkeye in one level, more than likely Black Widow will be your tag team partner in it. Um, so it's pretty fair as far as which characters would pair up with who, and if you want to have this ideal team, if like let's say for two characters who don't agree with each other, like Spider-Man and Daredevil, um, you can play it as those two characters in free play mode, and but the unfortunate side I think your tag team partner can't get chosen. But if you are aware that Spider-Man's your tag team partner, you can choose Daredevil, and then that's how you can make it work between switching off between those two characters. So like I said, basically it's just these Marvel heroes reclaiming Earth from these villains that they are trying to take over the world, and they're trying to stop their plot pretty much. So, or their evil scheme, I should say. So for the positives and negatives of Marvel superheroes Universe in Peril for the 3DS, you guys, I think this game really masters the experience of playing as these heroes. If you're playing as Spider-Man, you get your web slinging abilities, you get web ball abilities. If you're playing as Iron Man, you can fly, you can shoot, um, you can shoot things are from the arc reactor and things of that nature. If you're Mr. Fantastic, you can be flexible, and it really plays off of his flexibility powers. So it really just gives you the experience of what it's like to be these heroes. Or like, let's say you're playing the Hulk. Obviously, he's going to be really slow moving, but whenever he punches or kicks something, it'll destroy it in a heartbeat simply because he's one of the stronger Marvel heroes. Plenty of heroes to play as in this game. As far as having enough heroes in the game, I'm not complaining at all about it, simply because there's just so many Marvel characters to play from. If you don't like Iron Man, if you don't like Wolverine, if you don't like Spider-Man, if you don't like the Hulk, if you don't like Captain America, if you don't like Thor, if you don't like the Punisher, I mean, it's just like there's just so many different options you have if you don't like a certain character and you want to play someone else. Obviously, when you get to free play mode, you have more of that freedom. But when you're playing through story mode and just getting through the levels for that first time, obviously they want you to play as a certain character for those. But as soon as it's done, you can go back in free play mode and play as whoever you want to after you unlock them, pretty much. Since there are several characters in the game that you do have to unlock, and some of these characters you won't get until after you beat a level with them, playing as them for the first time. So very fun free play mode in this. Like I was saying, there's just so many options you have, so many things you can do in free play mode that you really couldn't do just by playing story mode. So really fun free play mode as far as the Lego game goes. Just they did a really good job with free play mode in this game. The tag team and tag switch options are a lot of fun. Like I said, if you're really getting sick of playing as one hero, you can switch as whatever that backup character is and play as that character if you're kind of getting bored of playing that other character. You have tag team abilities, which you do have to recharge if you use one of them during battle. Um, are doing fights with bosses and things of that nature. But just the fact that they have a really neat tag team, tag switch option, I think is a really fun fact of the game, or fun factor of the game. I like how this game you really feel like you're under pressure. I like how it's a race against the clock for some of these levels. If you're not quick enough, obviously police officers can die and that can go against you for winning these golden bricks in the game and things of that nature. So I really like that under pressure feeling of this game. It really makes you feel like a superhero when you're playing these levels, simply because you're going through all these anxieties and all these things you got to worry about when you're a superhero when you're playing these levels. And whoever made Lego Marvel Superheroes, which I'm sure is Traveler Tales Games, which is what it says on the back of the box. Yeah, Traveler Tales Games. They did a really good job making sure that that feeling of a superhero got into this game. This is a very impressive portable game effort. I was playing this game. I'm just like, wow, this basically could pass as a console game, specifically for the Wii generation from the previous game generation. I mean, this game really feels and looks like something we would have played for the GameCube or the Wii. I mean, it just really goes to show just how far we've gone since the original Game Boy, because this really does look like a console game. And the kind of the most surprising thing a lot of people are probably going to look at too is, this game probably really isn't that far off from the Wii U version, simply because the handheld universe is just getting so close to the console universe to the point where handheld gaming and console gaming are almost going to feel married, simply because graphics and capabilities and things of that nature are just so close to each other now. Obviously, the consoles are always going to have something that the handheld gaming isn't going to have, but this game just goes to show just how far handheld gaming itself has gone, which is really impressive. And just it almost makes you feel old, just because I've been around since the '90s, and it's like, wow, I'm shocked handheld gaming is this good now. Um, for the negatives of this game, you guys, I think is a very difficult beginning of this game. It's not a very nice game as far as you starting out, getting used to the controls. I don't even think this is a tutorial in this game. It just really you just jump right into the first level. It's really not a great game as far as a slow getting used to the game kind of feeling, because in the first level it's like bang, here's this big boss that's going to be hard to take down and things of that nature. So it's not a great game as far as getting used to everything. It definitely, that's one thing I wish this game had. I wish it really allowed the player to give them some time through all these levels. Let's say level one's easy, level two is a little harder, level three is a little harder than that. I wish that game had that progression, and it just really jumps in with the difficulty in this. And when it knows it's a hard game, it really knows it's a hard game. And so, as far as getting used to everything, I think this game doesn't really allow the player to do that very well, which kind of is a downside of this game, I think. I really don't think there's enough life hits per level. I mean, this game, like I said, it gets really difficult at times, and I'm pretty far into the game now. Um, and if you think that first level is hard, I mean, wait until you get to the other levels. Um, yeah, just I really think, because one thing that the other Lego games did that this game kind of left in the past, and I really wish they didn't, is in the previous Lego games, if you got hit 4 times, your character would fall apart since it's a Lego. But you could immediately get regenerated, and as a result, you would just lose studs. And I think that part of the Lego games was really missing in this one, because in this game, as soon as those 4 hits are taken, you're done. You got to start the whole mission over. And that's really unfair for a Lego game, especially specifically for a harder Lego game like this one. I really wish they just kept, if you lose a life, you just basically lose studs. You don't have to start over, but you do lose studs, and your stud result isn't going to be as good because either you lost all these lives or you lost all these hits. And that's one thing about this game that I really wish would have kept, that they would have kept from the previous Lego games, because I really missed that with this game. There's some uneven touch controls features in this game, so a lot of the touch screen controls are just really uneven. Um, Specifically, like when you want to try to fly as Iron Man and if you're in the middle of this big fight, it's just kind of a huge hassle, because you have your both hands here, and you got to get the touch screen out and go, and then you got to have your hand back on the where the 4 buttons are on the right side, and it's just like, I want those good touchscreen controls, and this game doesn't have good touchscreen controls. So it has good touchscreen controls when a lot of things are going on, but when you have a lot of things going on, like these big boss battles, then the touchscreen really doesn't become very helpful. This is also the first 3DS game I own where I don't think the 3D effects are that good. I really think this is probably one of the lamer 3D effects, because when you have that 3D slider on the right, when you can adjust if you want any 3D, no 3D, or just a little bit of 3D. This is definitely one of the lamer 3D effects efforts that I've seen in a video game. So a thumbs down for me when it comes to the 3D. Definitely just play it in 2D. I think the 3D really sucks, and it makes things feel overstretched in this game, I think. The levels either feel too long or too short. Just a little minor complaint. I would have preferred, levels with like kind of a medium length. Like I said, some levels just take way too long to complete, and some levels are just like zip bam, done in 1 minute kind of feeling. So that's another downside of the game. So overall, guys, I give Lego Marvel Superheroes a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's a good game, but there's a lot of plot problems with it, specifically with the touchscreen. Not enough life hits. Would have liked to have seen that regeneration thing going on like previous Lego games. A little difficult at the beginning. It's not a very fair game as far as getting you used to the controls. Um, Pretty bad 3D effects. Don't get it for the 3D. Like I said, just play it in 2D. I think it's a much better looking game if you play it in 2D. And like I said, the levels are either too short or too long, and I think that really ruins the experience in a way. I would have much prefer a medium length to these levels, and maybe just offer more levels with more heroes. I think that would have been a better complement. So, um, Lego Marvel Superheroes, it's a good game, but just be aware there's a few flaws with it while you're playing it.